welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen and welcome if this is your first time stopping by. I have quite a few videos coming up for you guys and I'm super excited to share this one in particular because it kind of combines my two loves, which is makeup and Disney. And if you are a follower of my previous channel before coming over here, Brown Eyed Beauty Z, that was a kind of beauty related channel. So this guy kind of shows you guys like a little hint into things that I love outside of Disney. And I wanted to share with you guys the makeup I wear to the Disney parks. Disney park makeup is a little bit tricky because you're dealing with hot climates. It's very like moist and thick air sometimes, very sweaty, and especially when you're starting to get into the warmer months, starting like this month is gonna be, it's already like 90 degrees there and it's just gonna get worse. I wanted to show you the makeup that I use that is like budge proof, will not come off and lasts all day and looks perfect in like pictures and stuff. It makes you look a little bit more put together, but I'm not talking crazy amounts of makeup here. So no reason to feel intimidated. This is going to be very easy for you guys to follow. But I wanted to share this with you because I think that if I had seen a video out there like this, like all the trial and error that I went through, it would have been so much easier. So I hope you guys are excited to see this video, and without further ado, let's get right into this. Okay, so I pulled my hair back, and the most important thing is to find a good primer. I have oily skin, so especially when it comes to the warm weather, nightmare, just absolute nightmare. So I have gone through quite a few different primers that I've tried out, and my favorite of all time, and will always be one of my favorites, and it's very inexpensive, is by the brand Hard Candy, which they only sell at Walmart, and it is the Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer 12-Hour Makeup Cream. This is just a gel-based primer. I have like quite a few of these, but it's very similar to some higher end products. There's one called the Milk Hydro Grip that a lot of people absolutely love. And it just kind of is a stickier primer base so that any makeup you put on top to it will grip onto the skin. And it kind of like, you want that stickiness because that's what's going to help with the longevity of your makeup. The next thing that is super important is concealer. I use, it doesn't actually really matter like what concealer you're using. For this, just today, I have this spot right over my frickin' eyebrow that I'm just gonna leave that concealer on there for a little bit, so just ignore that. But any concealer works. My actual go-to concealer is e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Another good one that I really enjoy from the drugstore is the Nyx Bear With Me Concealer, also a favorite. And if you are a big fan of Tarte Shape Tape, the Tarte Shape Tape is also a great option. But I am going to be using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I was going to say Hydro Grip, which is not what I was trying to say. And you just want to put this anywhere you would need some coverage. I do not wear foundation in the parks. To me, there's just no point. I have redness around my nose. I have some discoloration around my mouth, any spots. There's just no point in general for me with wearing foundation because one, you're constantly worrying about it rubbing off, and then two, it doesn't, like, it just feels heavy and you don't want it to feel heavy on your face when you're trying to enjoy your day, just traveling around Disney and enjoying like being, you know, out and about. And so I've just over time just decided concealer is the way to go, and it's really just so easy. Like there's just nothing that you can complain about with it. I always use a sponge, just it blends easier for me. And I feel like when you use a sponge, it kind of like pushes that product into the skin, really melts it in. And then some concealer on the eyes. This is the same makeup I wear in all of my photos on Instagram. Any picture you see of me at Disney, this is the makeup that I wear. Just FYI. Once we have all of those creams down, you want to powder. It is so important to powder. I have a couple of favorite powders, but my tried and true is always the Rimmel Stay Matte again, another drugstore product. I promise you, like, I don't only ever use drugstore, but my go-tos just tend to be drugstore products. And I use a setting brush, and I really press this into the skin. This is a Real Techniques setting brush. And I really just press that powder into the skin. You want to make sure you're not going to have creasing happening throughout the day. You don't want it to be wearing off. This is going to be crucial. And then I do, even though I don't put makeup around the rest of my face because I want all the other products that I put on top of this to kind of blend, I just do a light dusting of powder. Now again, if you have a lot of discoloration you want to cover up, you can do foundation. If you are going to do a foundation, I highly suggest a longwear foundation. Estee Lauder longwear, or I really like the Maybelline 24 Hour Stay. That's really good. Super Stay foundation, that's amazing. So I would highly recommend those two. I also always do a bronzer because when we're in the summer sun in Florida, you don't want to look dead, at least for me, especially when you're taking photos. If you take photos a lot at Disney, you want to look like you have a little bit of warmth and shape to your face, because it just, I think it just looks better. And I just really lightly contour slash bronze. Oh, I didn't mention what bronzer I'm using. This is the Milani Silky Matte Suntan Shade Bronzing Powder. However, when I go travel, I always bring travel size of things, so I usually use either this Bare Minerals Warmth Bronzer or NARS Laguna, because I have these little small samples, and it's just easier to bring smaller samples than like full big products. I also have a small sample of my primer, that's why. And I usually just pinch this angled brush and just put a little bit of bronzer down the nose. Now, I always do a highlight. Now, this is not a necessity, because if you are oily or if you just don't care about being glowy like me, then you don't have to do this. This is the Rimmel highlight in the shade Stardust. I also really like the Revlon Skin Light highlighters. I also love some high-end ones, but these are my go-tos because they melt into the skin. It looks just like kind of like a gloss on your face versus like a powdery highlight. And that is what I love about it. And one thing, I always do highlight before blush because I use the blush to kind of blend in the highlight. But yeah, so highlight. And then for blush, I like to use long wear blushes. So I usually, my go-to is another sample size. This is the Too Faced Love Hangover blush, and this is actually a long wear blush. It's a 16-hour wear sample one. Let me grab another one that I recommend. Other great blushes to bring are the Amazonian Clay blushes from Tarte. I also have a sample of this one as well. This one's just a little bit more of a muted tone, but I like to have a long wear blush because that's usually like one of the first things to fade. So I'm taking some of this Too Faced blush and I just pop this on with a blush brush. I just use another angled brush, it's my favorite. And blush, crazy. I love blush. I know blush is also like super popular right now, but I've always loved blush. And I go across the nose. You just want to look nice and rosy. I know it's starting to look a little bit excessive, but I'll show you how I take that down. Okay, so for just to kind of like tone down the blush, I just take my sponge and I pat over the edges. This is also going to melt any moisture that's still in the sponge. Is going to melt those powder products into the skin. Now I do want to say, if you want to take this makeup one step further and really have that long wear effect, you can use cream products underneath your powder products. Sometimes if I use a cream blush, it would be one of the Tower 28 blushes. I have Beach Please, Magic Hour, Golden Hour, and Rush Hour. They're all really just beautiful long wear cream blushes, and when you put the powder blushes on top, it really locks it in place. So it's just a nice extra little thing there. So yes. Now, next is eyebrows. I'm not going to say that you should really shake up your eyebrow routine all that much. because you want to have something that you feel comfortable wearing. My favorite of all time is the NYX Professional Micro Brow Pencil. It's very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz or the Benefit, which is my other favorite is the Benefit one, Precisely My Brow. So I just fill in my brows just like anybody else does. And I just kind of go underneath. And if I'm moving too fast for you, I'm super sorry. I just don't want this video to be like extremely lengthy. But I just kind of fill in the sparse areas, just do light flicks, that's what I was trying to say. Flicks with the pencil. And I try not to go overboard with this because sometimes I find that, for me at least, brows are always the first thing to go with a long day at Disney. Now, if you are blessed with beautiful brows and you do not need to fill them in, I would just do some brow gel to keep them kind of like in a nice shape and you're good to go. I have done that before as well. You do not always have to fill it in, but this is like the days where I know I'm shooting a lot of content or taking a lot of photos and I just want to look a little bit more put together. So, brows are on, spoolie them through, and I do want to mention that I am going to be filming like what's in my park bag when I get back from Disney because I have other stuff I want to film before. I bring a little pouch of my essential makeup items with me into the park so that in cases like my brows wearing off or concealer smudging, I have touch-ups. My favorite brow gel of all time, and this is a mini, but I will not go without this, is the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. I love that you can use that like flat side to kind of deposit the product onto the brows, and then you use just the little plastic bristles and shape your brow. I love making my brows a little bit fluffier, and this stuff lasts like all day. You do not have to worry about this at all. It's just beautiful. Okay, next is eyeshadow. So with eyeshadow, I always, or most of the time, try to stick to cream products that I know have a longevity of like 24 hours, or they're just like easier to like blend out. It's quicker to apply, especially on those mornings where you just want to get to the park. So I really like the No Budge shadow sticks from e.l.f. Love these to pieces. I also really like the Kiko All Over Crayon pencils. If I do eyeshadow, which I sometimes do, I always bring an eyeshadow primer. This is the NARS primer, and I will bring a neutral eyeshadow palette. My favorite go-to is the Huda Beauty Nude Medium palette, just because it has so many neutrals. It's just a really easy go-to. So this will be in my makeup bag for Disney. But in today's video, I wanted to show you guys my new obsession that I'm planning on bringing, and these are the, what are these? These are the NYX Epic Smoke Liners, because I've really been into kind of like a smokier eye, and these come with smudger brushes, and you literally just smudge them out, so I'm super excited. I'll show you guys how I'm going to wear those. Let's see, what color? I want to kind of do this muted, no. I kind of want to do this muted color today. I haven't played with this color yet. This is in the shade Mauve Grit. So I'm going to show you how I apply that real quick. This will be fun. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of just take the pencil. It has some shape to it. You're gonna take the pencil, kind of act like you're lining your eye. I might do a couple colors so I can show you, because this is a little bit light on my skin. And you don't have to be precise with how you apply it at all. Just kind of apply it how you would apply a regular pencil liner, and if you want to add a wing, add a wing. And I'm just going to bring that underneath. And then on the other side of the pencil, there's this little like kind of bristly looking brush. It's really, really cool. And you just take this and you blend out the edges and smoke out that liner pretty much. So I'm going to blend up more and blend in. This is not showing up that well on my skin right now, so I might have to do a darker color to show you guys. So give me one moment. I'm going to apply a darker shade. I'm gonna use my other brown shade. This is Mocha Match, and I'm excited. Let me do this one real quick. Again, not clean at all, just really easy to smudge. And I'm just going to smudge this out. Okay, so eyes are done. If I'm being 100%, like normally I would never go this dark, so I'm probably not gonna bring that mocha shade, but that was the first time I'm using it. This shade is really beautiful though, the Brick Fire shade. I used this one yesterday. This is one I would definitely bring. The other two shades just don't show up that great, so that's fine. But I just like the accessibility of them. It's super easy to just like throw it on, smudge it out. Same thing with if you just want to use like really simple products, prime your eyes and then put some bronzer in that crease and you're good to go. But those are things that I definitely do. Lastly, I love this mascara. It is my favorite mascara to wear in the parks because it does not flake, it does not come off, but it is not hard to get off at the end of the night. And it is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. This is a tubing mascara, so it is a dream. So I just apply this. Mascara is on. This is just one of the best mascaras out there. I will always recommend it no matter what. For lips, just some chapstick. Honestly, you are not gonna wanna mess with that all day. So I'm just gonna throw on, these are Lano Lip Ointment. Just throw on some chapstick. That's all you need. This is the most important step. If you do not listen to any other steps that I told you, this is the most important step. And it is using a setting spray. My absolute favorite is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I have a mini of this that I bring with me. It is a dream. It lasts. It's just so beautiful. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna spray your face, have a mini fan handy or something that you can fan your face with. If you don't know, this is one of my essentials for Disney, but we can talk about that in another video. So you're going to mist, soak your face. And then you are just gonna sit there. You're gonna fan this until it is completely dry. Once you start to feel your face kind of like tighten, that's when you know it's like almost there. And this is super crucial because the fanning is going to set that in place and it is not going to crease, it is not going to budge. Your makeup is going to last the entire day. And that is the final look. So this is basically the kind of makeup I will wear in the parks. Maybe not the dark eyeshadow, but the general idea. This is everything to me. I've really perfected this for myself. I would say after I do this makeup, I will of course pop some like brow gel, mascara, concealer, maybe a little bit of powder and my brow pencil. So like my 5 essentials, I'll put them in a little bag, put it in my park bag for the day. So if something were to happen, like worst case scenario, you have yourself covered. But I think that if you follow all these steps, you use the setting spray at the end and you fan your face until it is dry, you will be so amazed by how long your makeup lasts, and it just makes you look a little bit more put together for the rest of the day, and it just helps you feel a little bit more confident and beautiful. You want to be your best princess self. So I just think it's really like, it's just one of those really important things to me. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you guys maybe learned something new, and if not, I hope that it gave you some ideas of things that you might want to bring to the park for your makeup. But this is just what I do, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just what I like to do in my routine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you all so, so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye!